All right, we are recording, my friend.
All right.
This is Burn the Ship. Thank you for coming. Thank you for making the long drive out,
Happy
the
to
long
be
commute. Our goal is to connect professionals with business owners that can help you go all in on your business, right? People that have walked the walk and talked the talk and gone through all of the things and learned from those things and experienced stuff that sucks and learned from things that were awesome.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we talk about here. So, again, thank you for coming in. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your business?
Awesome. My name is Lauren Hubbard. I'm a commercial and editorial photographer based in the Roswell, Georgia area. A lot of what I do is in the food and beverage space. So I work with a lot of restaurants and hospitality brands and food and beverage brands, but I do a lot of lifestyle work overall for all sizes of businesses and brands. So
Tell me a story. Walk me through the whole lineage of how you got to this business, got to where it's at now.
Oh man. Okay, so I feel like it's easy to break it down into like this is my third time working for myself,
Oh, nice.
essentially. So the first time I had figured out, yes, I really want to do this thing. I want to get into photography. Originally, my plan was I was going to be a teacher. That's what I was going to school for. Switched my major to photography and decided, yes, what I'm going to do. And so in the beginning, I knew how to take nice photos. I didn't understand how to run a business sustainably and like actually make money.
Sure.
So I went to work for my dad for a little while I just spent all of my spare time between being a mom and working, just devouring every business book and podcast and workshop that I could. And I really loved it. Like it's still genuinely a hobby of mine. I just love learning about running a business, marketing, all those things. So spent probably 3 good years, like still freelancing, learning everything I could about, the business side of it. And worked with a business coach to kind of ease my way back into working full time for myself. Cause it was really important that it was going to be sustainable financially. It had to help support my family. I didn't have the option of not working, or not having whatever I do contribute to the household. And so when I still remember that for 6 months I went to part-time and it was this whole thing and people were really rooting for me too, which was really fun. And so went back into working for myself full time. I was mostly focused on a lot of family wedding type work. So what generally gets referred to as like retail photography. So, families, business.
Portrait photography.
Yeah, portrait photography with a little bit of small business stuff. I was really, I was actually out here living in Ackworth at the time. So I was very involved with the Ackworth Business Association and would meet a lot of businesses and business owners, which I loved. I'm a very community oriented person. So just hanging out with other people who own a business and sharing about what that's like is always something I really love. And so I would naturally start to work with some of these people. So that started to get a little bit of the headshots and a little bit of lifestyle for businesses, but still mostly family wedding. And then I was at a point where I was about to get divorced. And so I knew that I could not do both. I couldn't go through a divorce and run a business because it just takes so much out of you sort of mentally, emotionally, creatively to run a business well. And I knew, okay, I got to hit pause on running this while I go through this other thing. But I didn't want to, I couldn't leave my industry. I'd worked too hard to come this far in photography. Sure. And so I remember sharing with my best friend is a graphic designer who now also works for herself. But at the time she was working at KSU. And I was having coffee with her and I was like, all right, finally we're doing this thing. We're getting divorced. I just need to get a job somewhere for a little while I go through this. But I have to stay in photography. I can't go do something else again. And she's like, oh my goodness, we just had to fire a photographer yesterday. And I was like, oh my God, it was like the stars aligned. It was such a blessing. Unfortunately for the other photographer, but I was really grateful it was the exact opportunity I needed. And it was just, I don't know, it was perfect provision. So, and I had already been in the process of becoming a vendor with KSU. So I just kind of switched that to, let me apply for this position.
Nice.
So I spent just about 3 years as a staff photographer at KSU. And in that time, that really had a huge impact on my career because in that position, it was all advertising, lifestyle, editorial focused. And that was the first time I had that much focus on those genres of photography. And also had like that much shooting and editing within a week, right?
Sure.
Of pretty much every day going out to shoot at least one thing, if not three, and having to then turn around and edit all of that. And getting to work with a creative team for like the marketing department of the university was just wonderful. There are so many of those people that are like still people I love so much. So that was amazing. And then 3 years into that, it just got to the point where, a couple of things, mainly that my freelance outside of being at KSU had changed so much. It went from family and wedding to, starting to work with Delaware North, which is the food and beverage provider for Truist Park, and shooting like pre and postseason menu items and things that can't be done on nights and weekends. It has to be 10 a.m. on Wednesday.
Sure.
And so that balance of I can only use so much of my paid time off to go just work other hours somewhere else doing something else. So that was beginning to become difficult to manage. And there were just some dynamics with, the university. I was like, I think this is going to be a better shift to go back to working for myself. But then that relationship just became a vendor relationship. So I just do a ton of work still with KSU just as a vendor instead of an employee,
Sure.
which I love. So that was January 2019 that I left the university and have been back to full time. So it's been a lot of like going back and forth between freelance and full time, but it's been fantastic ever since. And I definitely think making that transition from like family wedding, not that that can't be a very sustainable thing, but this was just this route of focused on like the storytelling of the marketing and advertising editorial. Like that's just, when you like, this is the thing, this is my thing.
Absolutely.
I love it. And it's been wonderful, and it's been a sustainable route as well. So I'm grateful for that.
So where does your business come from now? I'm assuming you still do a lot of the same type of work. How are you kind of growing your business?
A lot of so right now I get a lot of repeat business. Generally, if I work with someone once, I work with them again. I'm very grateful for that. And then just like, I don't know, getting to know people. I still shoot some events. So I meet a lot of people at events. When I'm out shooting, generally it's like events for organizations like AJC, where it's a lot of other people that are either like on marketing teams or, they're on some kind of division with a business that they are going to be hiring a photographer or they'll pass along information. So I'm a very people-y person. And when you're out photographing people and talking to people, people ask, do you have a card? And I always have a card. It's funny, like I'll hear people be like, oh, business cards are dead. And I'm like, no, they're not. Absolutely no, they're not. Anybody who tells me that business cards are dead, I'm just like, you are crazy to me which is funny because I'm like almost out right now and I really need to order more. But always having a card and being ready to hand someone something so that they can follow up with you later, just that little thing. Being willing to connect with people and engage with them, and then having something that they can walk away with, even if it's like, if all I can do is pull up my Instagram on my phone and let them take a picture of it, it has to be something. I don't know, things like that add up.
So do you feel like people are reaching out to you for business after you've made that initial connection? People do a good job of following up with you.
They do. Yeah. I try to get their information as well, but people will follow up with me. So it's just kind of who gets it first. I don't know.
People pretty much never follow up with us.
Oh, really?
Pretty much never. Credit card processing is a very once it works, you just let it work.
Yeah.
And I do not blame any of those people one bit. So if you're not tenacious in your follow up in our industry, it is very difficult to be successful. But I could see where your industry would be different because your product that you provide is much more exciting because it has the ability to be fuel for your business. You know what I mean? It has the ability to be marketing. Your product that you provide could take a business to whatever their perceived next level is. You know what I mean? We don't really have that same effect. We have that replace your credit card machine, save you a couple dollars, right? Unless you can't get credit card processing from anywhere else or something like that. It just isn't that that wow factor the same way that your business is. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I do
it's a
know
little
what you
different.
mean, but it's funny because I'm so, I don't know, I'm really like picky about sort of processes and the things that help my business run, right? So when I'm having an issue with like, I don't know, let's see, I was using Square for a long time for like invoicing and processing
pretty
credit cards
normal,
and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty normal. Like that's usually where people start.
Yeah, exactly. But then if it either isn't going to integrate well with something else in my business, right? So right now I'm using Studio Ninja as a studio management
I'm
system.
very familiar.
Well, Square doesn't integrate with that. And really that's more of a Studio Ninja thing. They've selected that like these are the things that are going to integrate with our system. And so it's kind of a like what's helping things work. Also, if something is really expensive and there is a less expensive option, like I'm going to check that out because those credit card fees, they're no
They stack
joke.
up.
They
Yeah,
add up. Exactly.
Yeah, they
So.
do. Yeah, I have my 10-minute presentation for my BNI group next week. And the power of the
Nice.
penny is the name of the game. A penny goes a long way when you're talking about saving credit card processing fees. But
It does.
I digress. Tell me what you did really, really well. Kind of as you're going into your business, you're getting back into the swing of things, like transitioning into that vendor role with KSU, and you really want to kind of grab the reins and take control of your own business. What were you doing really, really well, and what did you learn from at the beginning?
I think the things that I have done well that have contributed to where I'm at are, I don't know, I think it's my general sort of outlook on life. I believe in like loving people well and treating people well and just, I don't know, engaging with people fully. And I think when you do that, even in business, like business doesn't feel like some separate thing in my life, right? I mean, like, yes, work-life balance, all of that, but like I'm the same person in both of those arenas. In fact, I feel sometimes like I can even be like, I can let all my energy come out right with that. Like I think when you can bring all of yourself to it and just engage people fully, like that makes an impression on people.
It definitely does.
And and people want to have fun in what they're doing throughout their day. And so I get to meet people at where they're at with their business, and it's kind of a 50-50 on whether or not they're very excited about having their photo taken. And so if you can do everything you can to help put people at ease and make it fun and bring joy to the situation, like people enjoy that and they may want to do it again.
That's a skill in itself. We've talked about that a little bit on the podcast before, is not making your business a burden.
Yeah.
And the other side of that is like not putting your expectations on other people too. So like,
yes,
like you don't ever know if somebody like a very normal thing for sales reps in my industry, especially, is like you're afraid to like ask for money, right?
Yes.
Like the solution, like your point of sale is going to be $2,000, right? And they're like, I don't want to ask them for $2,000, and like,
yeah,
you never know. Some people are like, yeah, $2,000. I've already priced this. It's $400 cheaper. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah,
the putting your expectations, like your own personal expectations, on what it is a lot or what is a little for other people, as well as like when you mentally fall into this cycle that you're like, oh, this is a burden. Like people don't want me to come take their picture. Like it's just I'm gonna have to hurry through everybody, and it's gonna be such a pain for everybody that's in the middle of their work day. Like that, those are like more personality traits than they are skills, really. But it is so important to like leave that at the door. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I think it is a thing that can be like, it can be a skill if it's not
For sure.
inherent to your
It's learned
personality.
behavior.
Yeah, because I definitely had to. I mean, I'm 16 years into doing this. Probably it might even be 17 this year. And at first, like I really struggled with like a little bit of social anxiety and like
Sure.
having to, like I felt like I had to be like, okay, all right, I'm gonna be in like, I'm gonna be in like confident, not afraid to just be myself with people mode, because you look at other people and you want to try to like, how do I do this right? What's the right way to do
Sure.
this? Well, the right way to do it is just to bring your whole self to it.
Yeah, 100%.
And to not worry so much about, it's hard, right? I think it takes time to get to a point where you're not so focused on what you need to get out of it, or because that's there, right? I mean, that's just true. Businesses need to make money. We all need to eat. That's true. But if what you can focus on is, I get to do this thing. Like, I'm going to put all of myself into this thing that I love to do and into just connecting with these people. And if they need this or they want to work with me, great. But if they don't, if all I got was a really great connection and a great conversation, awesome.
Yeah.
That's great too. You know, if you can focus on that, I think it ends up just being like, oh yeah, like it does end up being great for business. And that's a fun side thing. But when you're trying to focus on the getting things and the selling things,
Yeah.
like I've been to networking stuff.
You kind of get caught in the process side of things in your business. It's tough.
It is hard.
Your business loses a little bit of that personality like that. I feel
does.
Like it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts.
I would go to networking things where it was all about like refer people and make people refer other people to each other. And it felt so like, oh my gosh, like that to me makes it like, I can't breathe in that. I like, how about let's just create a space where we get to connect with people, get to know people. Like I think it can be such a, I don't know, like an overused thing of like, you know, just build relationships, but truly just connect with people as people. That's enough.
Yeah.
I really think it is.
My boss says that whenever like he is definitely confident in his sales game to like put it as lightly as I can possibly put it, right? Like just absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt in his mind that he's coming in and out selling everybody. And he told us the other day, he said like our goal, especially for new sales reps, is like you want to do a deal every week, right? And it's mostly just how many people that you see, because you'll run into people that need your service or that there's some value to change, right? And he's like, I could go to the bar at lunch every day, and he said I could do one deal a week. He said I could just sit at the bar at lunch and I could just talk to people, and I will meet people that own businesses, and we will have a drink and we will have a good conversation, and I will sign them up, and that is all that I need to do the bare minimum deals. And I was like, all right, I'll go to the bar every single day for lunch. And he was like, no, absolutely not. So, but like what you're talking about is very, very real. Like there has to be more to the relationship than just like I know what you do and you know what I do, and hopefully we run into like some teed up opportunity to like refer one another. Because when you have a real relationship, like some of the best relationships I have with some of the referral partners, we've played golf together. Like one of my referral partners came to my kid's birthday party. Like we have that's really what I would say like our skill is that we have always been like incentivized to take that relationship to another level. You know what I mean? When most of our industry doesn't. And it pays itself over 100 times over every single day for us, because we enjoy what we do. Number one, we enjoy what we do, and we enjoy our network, and we enjoy being able to go out and be ourselves so much. But beyond that, people enjoy us. And it's saying something for people to enjoy talking to the credit card processing people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that I think is probably the most apparent thing about our brand of our business is not how good we are at our job or how fast we fix something or like anything like that. Any skill that we have is definitely overshadowed just by the fact that the vast majority of our network just likes us for some reason or another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just enjoy being around us.
That makes a big difference. I mean,
Huge difference.
I can think of one. There's a lot of different companies that I engage in order to run my business, right? For like all the things I'm subscribed to
Sure,
that help
absolutely.
run things. And I can think of one that actually has great customer service where I know I can get in touch with somebody immediately, and that's Studio Ninja. And every other one, there's like all these hoops to jump through. So I think it is something to be said for anytime you can engage with a company where like there's a person you can talk to, and you know who that person is.
And they're nice, not just like
amazing.
nice, but like you know those people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like our customer service people all the time, Amanda and Shelly, they'll talk to people on the phone, right? And they'll be on the phone for 2 hours. And the beginning of the phone call is they hate their life for whatever reason. They hate whatever is going on in their business. Just big pain, headache, everything's going on. We work through it, things get fixed. And then at the end of the day, they go look and they're got friend requests on Facebook from the people that they talked about. I was like, dude, that's like the number one testament of like good customer service people. Because so many people in the world like hang up their customer service calls and they're like, God, I hate customer service for XYZ company. I'm like, if you're getting Facebook friend requests from people like after you help them fix their problem, so like they can keep up with your life because of the conversation that you had, it goes It goes so far. That's
Yeah.
really the identity of your business. Like
Oh,
when
yeah.
people talk about branding and marketing and stuff like that, they're not talking about your logo and like your color swatch and things like that. Like they're talking about that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
is
What does it
that
feel like to engage with your business?
100%.
How does
It
that
goes
make
so
you
far.
feel?
It's really hard to articulate that. You articulated that very well, actually.
Thanks.
What did you learn from? What was hard? What sucked at the beginning?
Everything's been hard.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's all a learning curve. That's not a bad thing, though. I think the trick is not letting things that are like things being hard freak you out and scare you
Yeah.
away. And I will say, I don't think that running your own business is for everyone. I think you have to, like, if I really loved being a photographer and that was the only thing I really cared about, I don't know if I would really want to just continue like running a business. But I really love having a business. Like I love the entrepreneurship side of it too. I don't think you have to love it as much as I do to be good at it, but I think that that's helped make it less hard. Sure. But I mean, what's hard? It's hard to have the patience to let things grow. I'm not a very patient person. Not when it comes to it's like seeing what things can be and getting it there.
Sure.
For that, I'm patient in other ways, but for that, like when I have my like sight set on something, I'm like, I want to hurry up and be there. And so like if 16 years ago me could look forward to now, I think maybe I could take a little bit of a breath, but I might also be like, oh, gosh, it took long enough. All right. But you have to be willing to be patient to let things grow, because like it takes the time it takes for a reason, because you just can't learn it all in a day. You can't learn it all in a year. You can't
make all the relationships that you need.
No, exactly.
Can't learn all the things you need to learn in one day.
And really, when you look back, you see like, oh my gosh, well, assisting with that photographer taught me all these things, and working with that studio taught me so much. And so working with other being assistant or studio assistant or second shooter to other wonderful photographers who were willing to like let me learn from them and just help them and see what they were doing, and kind of having the patience as myself to just be okay with working with other people and not needing to be the one that was running things. I see that a lot in the industry. People just want to be like, yeah, I'm running the show immediately. Like, well, okay, but there's so much that you're missing out on if you don't work with other people. Yeah. And if you're not engaging in community with other people too. So I think it can also be hard to like it can be a lonely thing if you don't put yourself in community with people. And that's really hard.
And yeah, I agree with that. And the lonely thing compounds with the idea that running a business is a short game too.
Right. Yeah.
People, I think, oftentimes people expect like business growth to be exponential, because we hear that like in all those YouTube videos that we were talking about before this. Like that's what you hear is like, you want one customer to turn into 3 and those 3 customers to turn into 9 and 9 to turn into 27.
It's just a simple math equation.
It sounds really good.
Yeah.
I'm good at math and it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds great. Our industry is very unapologetic and upfront about the fact that this is going to take you a long time to be good at and to make money. But the thing about it is, like, if I have a client that I make $5 a month off of, right? I make $5 a month off of them until they're not my client anymore. But we retain our clients for like 4 years. You know what I mean? So like we have this rolling window of like at least 4 years where you can like grow that book of business, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm like 7 years into this and I'm like, okay, I knew that this was going to be a long game, but if I knew what I knew now and I could go back to where I was at the beginning, I could only shorten that life cycle so much. It's still go meet the people, farm the leads, take care of the prospects, send people referrals, create the relationships. Like every single business in some way or shape or form. Now, startups, you kind of live somewhere else, like technology companies, they listen to. We have a lot of technology company clients. You guys are different. I know 1 million clients in a month. I've seen all that shit, but that is difficult. And these businesses, true small businesses, do not experience that for the most part. And you have to walk into it with the mindset that like it's going to take you some time to build like the foundation of what you want to grow, because
Oh, yeah.
if you don't, like it's super hard. You know what is like the saying about like stuff that comes easy goes easy? I'm probably butchering that. There's probably some
That's a
way
good
to say
one.
that. It's probably some way to say that like it makes a lot more sense.
Are you
But like,
quoting Queen? Easy come, easy go.
yeah, maybe.
Well, you mentioned like
It's like all the lottery winners are broke. You know what I mean?
yes.
Like that's like the
Right.
point that I'm making, is like if your business didn't take a long time to grow, like you lose some of that. You
You're
know what I
not
mean?
well, you're not like in the right headspace to steward those resources
sure.
well. If you weren't doing well with a little, are you going to do well with a lot kind of thing?
That's
so
why like one 20-minute abs workout does not give you a six pack. You know what I mean?
it's
Like
too bad.
there's
That'd be
so
really
much
great.
work that goes into a business behind the scenes that people just don't.
Right.
I just don't think people realize how long that road is. You know,
Yeah.
it's long.
It
It's
just
super long.
takes the time it takes for a reason.
100%.
It's hard, but it's worth it in the end. And you mentioned like you said something about farming, like
Yeah.
you kind of used that term. And I think that that's actually a perfect analogy for like growing a business, right? Is it does take, like, you have to be willing to like sow and then like wait, you
Yeah.
know, like it's cultivation over time.
The
That
the
is how it
analogy that
grows.
we use is farm with a gun. That's what we've
What?
been taught. Yes, that's what we've been taught
Okay,
since
you're
the
going to have to
beginning.
explain that one to
So
me.
like hunting is like door knock, sign everybody up as fast as I can. Whoever gets implemented, but I'm doing nothing but selling and keeping it moving. No
Okay.
relationship.
Okay.
I'm just knocking on doors and seeing who I can impulse and
Right.
sign up that day. Right? No,
Never see him again.
never see them again.
Okay.
Right? That's hunting to us.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that works.
And then farming is like build relationships, meet your community, be present, brand be important, right? It sounds much better. But
Much
if you're
happier.
farming and an animal that you can eat walks right in front of you, you should shoot it. Like that is our if you see
This is
an
a good moment to mention I'm a
opportunity.
vegetarian.
No, trust me.
I'm just kidding.
I have been
I am, but that's okay.
I have been every direction of diet. Trust me, I have exercised. I have eaten 40 straight days of carnivore diet, and I have eaten vegan for 5.5 months.
That's
Like,
okay. My baby brother is a hunter, so I'm good. But
I
no,
love to
that's
hunt.
but
Yeah.
I understand. It's like, yeah, like both things
Yeah.
matter, right? Like, yes.
It's just like an acute skill to see like an
Yeah.
opportunity for your business, because like if you wait, like if your skill is waiting, like you'll miss stuff. You'll just miss stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I encourage everybody to, like, when somebody says, hey, I have an opportunity for you, call me on Monday. Like, call them on Monday. Like, call
Yeah,
them on Monday.
Right, follow
you
up.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
the follow up's really important. I mean, I feel like
it's difficult to get used to too.
Yeah, it is, and it's you got to stay on top of stuff. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I think the thing I didn't anticipate is how much there is to really keep up with.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's a lot, and I mean, and
It's so much.
I've got a really wonderful virtual assistant. This summer I have Hope with me, who's here off camera, who's interning with me. So I mean, I am trying to be better about like building team, and then I have a lot of other businesses that I work with as like contractors and collaborators, and lots
You're
of
part of the team.
yeah, exactly. So I'm a very team oriented person as well, and that's really helpful. But it's still, it's just even that is still
Still different dynamic
it's still
than like wearing
managing
all the hats of
Yeah.
business owner.
Exactly, it's a lot of
very
hats
difficult.
either way.
Well, congratulations as to how far you've come. I
Thank
know your
you.
industry is difficult.
It is. It's wonderful. It's difficult. It's just always change. Everything is though.
My
I mean,
sister is a photographer.
Okay, cool. What kind of photography does she do?
She does. She enjoys family photography. Is the
Yeah.
number one thing that she really enjoys.
That's awesome.
And she really enjoys doing it for people that can't afford it.
Oh, that's great.
So she is not the type to be very confident in her skill set. And then one day I was like, dude, you're really, really good at this. You know what I mean? And so what she enjoyed doing was taking pictures for people that couldn't afford it, to capture moments in their life that she recognized that people would miss.
Oh, I
You know what I
love
mean?
that.
So like she would be like, hey, if you can't afford graduation pictures or senior pictures for high school, like
Yeah.
call me and we'll figure it out.
I
Like
love that.
if you have a new baby and
Yeah.
you can't pay $300 at the hospital for
Yeah.
their pictures, and
Yeah.
you don't have it in you to like take a day off work to go get pictures made. Like you have maternity pictures that you want to take. Like that was really how she got into it. And I think that where she got into it was from such a good place that her skills just kind of followed, because there wasn't a super high expectation for what she was doing for free. And then she just ended up getting really good at it because she had the, you know, the mindset of like, I want to develop these skills. So nevertheless, your industry's hard. I know it firsthand. Congratulations for being 16 point whatever years into your industry.
Thank you.
Looks like you're going a long way.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see what work that you do next. We always end the podcast the same way. It always ends a little different, but same two questions. If there's a bunch of people behind the camera that want to buy stuff from you right now, how do they find you?
They find me at laurenlizphoto.com, and I am Lauren Liz Photo across all the things. So Instagram, I'm on Instagram a lot, or I mean, I guess the most of all the things. And LinkedIn, Lauren Liz Hubbard, or if you go Lauren Liz Photo on there, you'll find me.
Cool. The last thing is have you ever heard the term burn the ship?
I have. Well, I thought it was burn the boats, but maybe I heard it wrong. Burn the ships.
Same way.
Yeah.
Same thing.
The
Ships
ship is
and boat,
bigger.
whatever.
That's a lot to burn.
The ship, it brought them from Spain to Mexico.
Okay.
I would imagine it was a ship. If
Yeah.
it was a boat, that's more impressive. That's for sure. But Hernan Cortez, conquistador, comes across the ocean, wants to colonize Central America. He lands in Central America, and what is the first thing they do? They take all their boats apart, and they make huge 100-foot fires on the beach of all of the parts of the boat.
Okay.
And the reason that he did that was so no one could try to go back. So no one could leave, right? They didn't know how to build the boats with the stuff that was in Central America.
Right.
And so that's like the same analogy that we use for business, because there is a moment, and it might not be now. You might already be into your business and haven't had that moment yet. Like you might still be freelancing or part-time or growing that team or building those relationships. Like, to say you haven't had this moment yet does not mean to say you're not an entrepreneur, but you will. I guarantee you will have this moment where a light switch flips in your head and you go, okay, like this is 100% my focus. As like professionally, this is my focus. Like I want to own my own business and wear my entrepreneur hat, because if you haven't had that moment yet, you're still in that growing phase, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
We all go through that. And you usually when I say that, people think about like when exactly that was in their mind, and it reminds people of that moment. But tell me what it feels like, because there's a bunch of people out there that are scared or excited about their new business opportunity or unsure about what the future holds, and they really would like to relate to you right now and know that somebody that is 16 years into their industry felt the exact same way as they did on day 0.
Oh man, I mean, I remember what it was like being at day 0, and I think you never, like that, the tension never totally leaves, right? Is there like some kind of safety in working for someone else? Well, I would say kind of, now that we've been through COVID, kind of, not necessarily.
No, not really.
I mean, it's like in my bones, I guess. So like when I got started, I mean, it was just that like somebody suggests like, hey, could you so when I very first started, the first time someone said, hey, could you shoot this for me? I was working for the Clayton County Police Department, and I was not a police officer. I was records. I like processed crime scene photos. And in my cube, I had all my like pictures I was just taking for fun. And my lieutenant was like, hey, I have a friend who's running for sheriff. Do you think you could take some lifestyle photos like for his campaign? And I was like, yeah, I think I could do that. And just like that of being able to then kind of see that story in my head and do it. I want to be able to keep doing that. I love it. So it's just the like loving it. And even when it gets hard and scary, like I feel like it makes a big difference when you have support of some kind. It's hard because people can struggle with finding support systems, right? Sure. It's not always going to be that the people in your immediate circle are super supportive of you doing this risky thing, right? Like I'm very grateful that I have an amazing husband who, when it's a hard day, he's like, you are amazing and it's going to be okay. And I'm like, thank you. I needed that reminder, but if you are not in a space where like the people immediately around you are like, you can find those people. Your people are out there. So find the people who are, where you're at or a few steps ahead, and try to just be in community around other people who are in that space. And I'm just, rising tide lifts all ships. Oh, to go with a boat analogy.
We've done a
Rising
little
tide
marketing
lifts all
with that.
ships.
We did a little marketing with that one time. And we were like, yeah, we're going to send this flyer out and invite people to the podcast. The rising tide lifts all ships. And I was like, hey,
We're talking about.
so we're burning
We're
them
burning the
after.
ship.
Like, we don't need
Well,
to lift them too high.
That's true. Well, if you were just kind of kayaking on the coast,
Yeah.
the tide could lift you together. But I mean, so I don't know. I think I veered off from the question a little bit. But I mean, when I knew it, it's like it became the thing that I can't not do it. I can't stop thinking about it. So I think you have to pay attention to those, like when you have those things that gnaw away at you, right? That like you get excited about. I think if you follow your curiosity and you follow the things that feel like they are calling to you, that like, I don't know, there's something to it.
You said it earlier. You said it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
And you're not wrong.
If you just if you like taking some photos, but like you don't want to deal with all the, I mean, I don't know. Like, what was it for you?
I started in this industry. I did not get my first opportunity to wear the business owner hat until a little bit after COVID, right? So like end of 2020 was my first experience with like production company and all of those things. Okay. So I had helped hundreds of people on their entrepreneurship journey, right? And in my mind, I was like, I'm desensitized to it. That was literally what I thought. Really? Like I have done this so many times. I've helped so many people in this journey of like setting up their business and seen them succeed and seen them fail and all of those things that like I'm just going to go through the processes. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I know how to feed this business. I know how to network. I already have a ton of relationships, right? And then we had already like built the website. We had secured an LLC. We had done everything as far as like setup of the business goes. And then we were like, we sat down and had that meeting of like, what's going to be our first project, right? And our first project wasn't like, and keep in mind, we already had the podcast room built and everything like that. This was already like,
oh really?
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So like we had decided to kind of reformat the business after we had all of these things. So there wasn't tremendous overhead for me or anything like that. Nice. I didn't have to pay employees. I had a contract editor. Like it was cool. You know, it was not super high risk for me to step into that because it was completely in line with what we were already doing, right, on a day-to-day basis. Okay. And my boss that owns this company was like, I'm going to be your partner, you know, and we're going to do it together, you know, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. Yeah. Then we had that meeting of like, what's our first thing going to be? Like, what's our breakout project going to be? And that's what did it for me. That when I was like, all right, like, you know how you pick your outfit? Like, how old are your kids? You have one kid?
I have three. I have one that I made, and I got two bonus kids.
Okay, so cool. So 11. I have two.
Oh, yeah.
I have a 6-year-old and I have a 2-month-old.
Oh, right? You have littles.
And you know how you pick the outfit that they come home from in the hospital?
Oh, yes.
And it matters so much.
It does.
Right? That was what that first project felt like to me.
Ah!
Like, literally, I was like,
that.
Okay, this is like setting the pace for us. And that was what did it for me. That was what gave me that like excitement and fear. And like, it was like I'm not a big logo guy or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't really care what the name is. I just care that we have a team where all move in the same direction. That's really, I'm a very team oriented person too. As long as I feel like an indispensable part of the team, I will ride till the wheel fall off. I really don't care, you know, for better or for worse. I love it. Loyal to a fault, you know? And so, we decided where our first project was going to be, and we executed on it. We put it out there to the world. And then I had been sharing stuff on Facebook to like my family and my community forever about the business that I had worked for in hopes that it would turn into some sort of money for me at some point in my life, right? Okay. Like, oh, people need to know what I do in case they open a business, or maybe they have a referral for me, or they walk in somewhere and their credit card machine doesn't work, whatever, right? And then I was like, hey, we started this production company. Here's this first video that we've ever put out. Check it out. Okay. And then I had like this wave of, this is dope. Like, keep doing what you're doing. This is really cool. I want to do something like this. Hey, can we talk? I want to do something similar. And I was like, no, I'm not telling you my secrets. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. And then I got like to that, like, it was kind of like you sit at a different table. You know what I mean? Like you go and meet people where they are. Right. And people meet you where you are, you know, they're like, hey, I know where you're at. and here's where I'm at, and we could help each other,
Yes.
you know? And when you have that bond of a business, like the business owner bond is
Yeah.
very, very different. Because like your success and my success are now embedded in one another, right? Like as a sales rep, you could care less really beyond, like, if I can send you a referral and you sign up with me and it's good for everybody, that's cool. But like, I really don't have anything that requires me to do that. You know, if I keep talking about what I do for long enough, people will sign up eventually, right?
Okay.
This wasn't like that. This was like, put your name on it. Like,
Yeah.
this is your signature in the yearbook. Like, this is your first impression. And you can either do something really cool and creative, or you can do something that a lot of people will see and it'll cost you a little bit less money, and you can make it super cost effective, and you can do it with a little less time, and you can put it out there and touch a lot of people, and it'll probably be more profitable to you. But I was like, okay, we're going to put some stuff out there that's us, you know, like
that.
we're going to like really, we're really going to put us into this first project. And I was like, okay, that did it for me. So
Yeah.
like that,
You might as well be excited about all of it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's going to, I don't know. I mean, it's worth it to go all in for things. And I don't know, you just end up proud of it at the end of the day, no matter what. Because it's hard. Not everything works.
yeah.
That's a hard thing too. Not everything works. But like if you can enjoy the doing of it, right? The
Yeah.
journey of it, I don't know. It's like your days turn into your years, turn into your life. So
I
you might as
swear.
well make them great.
It really does. And it really only takes one good decision, really. I swear it takes one day of getting out of bed 1 hour earlier than you meant to, because the video the connection that I made that led us to the video that we actually shot, I woke up at 4 a.m. to talk to a guy like on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Right. Like he was like, I'm going to be here for 30 days and I'm in Singapore. And if you want to talk to me, like, you have to get up at 4 a.m. Right. And I was like, I could just not
Yeah.
get up at 4 a.m. I could just wait a month and see if we talk again.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, just something did not feel right. And I
Right.
woke up at 4 a.m. and talked to this guy, and then we end up, like, it ended up into a whole slew of different projects and tasks and things that we had to do to accomplish some things. But I felt in a way that I had done something that I wouldn't have been able to do without approaching that project the way that I approached it at the end, and that's what did it for me.
Don't you think that's how you know you're like on the right track? When you're
100%.
willing, when you're like, okay, yeah, I gotta get up before morning. That's
Yeah,
what
when
I
I
gotta
did
do.
that, I realized that this is the last job that I will ever have.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
and it's because we operate like what we do on a sales perspective, like an entrepreneur, you know. But this,
Which is amazing. And really,
this
any
is the
company
last
has.
job I will ever have in my life.
I love that.
That is a fact. If I got fired tomorrow, or Jay decided to sell our company, I don't know what I would have to do to get fired. I would love to have it. I can't think of something that would get me fired. But if Jay decided to sell our company tomorrow for whatever reason and there was no job for me here, I would absolutely not go work for somebody else. I know for a fact I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would I would keep running a production company because that's what I enjoy doing.
I joked with Hope that I think I might be unemployable because I'm too used to like
No, yeah.
we're being able to like,
I'm unemployable.
decide what happens. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Absolutely.
like, I mean, I'd be a great employee, but I would want to run. I would run to like, I wouldn't want to handle too many things.
I would be a
and-
terrible employee. I would be an awful employee. I would be early and I would be working really, really hard and I would be
Yeah.
producing and all those things, but I would be annoying.
I just can't. I have
I
a
would be
hard time
so
with
annoying.
like rules for the sake of rules. Like, okay, but why can't like if
Exactly.
what works best is for me to like be here from this time to this time because of what like then why not? Like why aren't we working smarter, not harder? You know what I mean? Although it's all hard work, but it's fun hard work.
I feel that.
I just all
feel
those
that.
years where like I was also working somewhere else because that's what I needed to do while
Yeah.
I learned more, did more. Like those were the years where I mean now I try to not get up until like 6 cuz like sleep. But those were the years of like 4 a.m. for sure. Like well before the sun rises up to spend that time like let me spend some time. You know, I'm a big like morning rituals person. I am. So, you know, let me have my time where I'm like reading my Bible, doing my journaling, and then spending like an hour editing that thing that I had to shoot after work because I've got my work hours and then I've got my freelance hours and I've got, you know, so you find when you can't help but like try to find the little places. If you're not willing to do that stuff, if you're not willing to spend to find your own time to carve out ways, everybody can find, you might have to wake up an hour early, but you've got, if you've got the time somewhere,
Sure.
if you really care about it.
Yeah,
If
you'll
you
make time.
don't really care to do that,
You'll
do you
make
really,
time's a real thing.
right. Do you really care about it enough if you're not willing to find time somewhere in a way that makes sense for your life? And these are years when like my kids were little. My son is going to be 14 this summer. So like I've been doing this longer than he's been alive. And a lot of the beginning stuff was when he was little. So I'm already like not getting enough sleep because he's a baby and all of these things.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's never easy.
I'm
I
up
think,
at 4 a.m. because I haven't gone to sleep yet. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
neither
I
has the
can't. I'm
baby.
not a night owl. I gotta I'll wake up early.
Yeah,
I have a
I
hard
am.
time
Oh,
staying
trust
asleep
me,
at
I
night.
want to be asleep bad. The baby wants to be asleep bad too. She just can't quite figure it out.
That's
so.
rough. You'll get through it one day. Mine
No,
are 11.
it's so much better than it was at the beginning that now that I'm not even worried anymore
Yeah.
now.
Mine are 11, 14, and 19. So all mine are big.
Yeah, you're lucky. I got 6 in 2 months.
Listen.
And like I made it through I was like on his 6th birthday, I was like, we're really making headway. I was like, we're a third of the way. You know what I mean? To like
Yeah.
college. And then I restarted.
Yeah, I
Awful
know,
decision.
right? Oh, that's rough.
Awful
I think
decision.
I'm like, we are so close. We got 8 years until all of ours are all big, but it goes so
I always
fast.
say, I was like, we should just do it back to back. I was like, we should just have 2 of them real quick.
Yeah.
Right? Did not happen. And now we have them 6 years apart. Sick.
Hey,
it's really awesome.
It could be more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
and
not too bad.
the baby's due date was on my son's birthday. So like
Oh, no.
her due date, I was like, they're gonna have the same birthday. Right.
That'd be hilarious.
And they did. And they're a week apart,
Oh,
thankfully.
thank goodness.
You'd have 2 birthdays on 2 weekends or something, but no, it's been crazy. Life's been crazy, and we're still doing it. If that doesn't bottle up what entrepreneurship is, then I don't know what does. So,
100%.
thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I
This was
would love
wonderful.
for you to come back at some point
I would
too.
love to come back. This is fun.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad that it was a good experience for you. But
Yeah.
I'll get this
love
edited.
Hearing all your I could tell you've like one, not only in like the experience of running a business and being all this, but also how much care you put into like learning from other people's stories. Like
Well,
that.
it's been everything to me. Like
helps.
I said, we've done like 300 of these, and it's given me perspective that I never dreamed of. Right? Like honestly, like here, I'll show you something really quick before we get off of here. You don't have to move.
I'm a podcast junkie, so and like I just love learning from people, and
It's come to my attention lately that I can't see as good as I thought I could. That's a fact.
I can only see over there because I've got my contacts in.
I
Are you wearing contacts?
can't see over there. No.
Oh,
Nope.
might be a time for a trip to your local eye doctor.
That's what they say. What they tell you, but I wish they told you louder, was that when you're 26, you lose insurance. You lose your parents' insurance. And I am 26.
It's time to get your own.
All right. You see that? You see where those orange lights are? You like the third one from the left? Slide the little thing under it. Yeah. Slide the little thing under it, like just a little up. I'll tell you when. Yeah, I like that. I like where you're at.
Good
We're
job,
probably
Hope.
bumping up on time, but there's one gentleman.
Give me a little more.
Months ago at a conference in Dallas, and his name is Rob Bailey. And
I love that. You can put your headphones on too. There's a headphones over there if you want to hear.
And
I'll restart it for you.
so I got connected to him on Facebook. One gentleman, and I know we're probably bumping up on time, but there's one gentleman I met a couple of months ago at a conference in Dallas, and his name is Rob Bailey, and he's this brilliant marketer. And so I got connected to him on Facebook and continued to interact with him. And
I
he
love
put
this
something
guy,
on
by the way.
Facebook that just hit me extremely just in the right spot. He said, everybody here flexing about their business. My biggest flex is my family. And I'm like, damn straight. And all that guy loves talking about is how much time he gets to spend with his wife and his boys. And I mean, that's it, man. That's the dream right there. And it just, God, it just hit me so well. And it just hit me so hard. And it was, I mean, what's the date now? Beginning of May. 2.5 months ago, my dad passed away. It's been just gut-wrenching. But I took my wife and my girls to meet my grandmother in Arizona, and then we flew to Disney. And I thought, this is my flex moment. And so I tagged Rob, and I said, look, Rob said this, so I'm flexing like a mofo all week at Disney. And it felt so good to do that. That's what being a business owner should be about. You can make all the money in the world. You can have power over people, all that you want. But are you really happy? I mean, I get to share this amazing life with an amazing woman and two amazing girls and amazing friends that I have better relationships with. Every struggle of being a business owner, as long as you keep a vision for that, you'll get through your challenges. I mean, it's the honest to God truth. No matter what moment of self-doubt you have, just keep on reminding yourself that you will be unhappy if you quit because you will be unable to share something amazing with other people. So it's an awesome feeling.
I love
That bottled it up for me right there. Like that is the reason. Those moments are the reason why I keep doing this. Truly. Because like that perspective like pushes me another week.
Yeah.
And then like I get some more perspective that pushes me another week and another 2 weeks and another, it's fuel for a month and whatever it is. Hey kid. But like that is that's what life's been. It's just hearing that. That's where I get my fuel.
Yeah.
That's where I get it. I get it from here.
I love it. People are amazing.
No,
you
they
know?
are. And you're capable of wonderful things when you work really hard at it. So
Absolutely.
thank you for coming.
Thank you for having
I
me.
truly look forward to doing it again.
Thank you, Bailey. Me
Thank
too.
you. All right. See you soon. It's been Burn